Seriously. Alright. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. Quite the crazy weather we got going on here. And not just that, but quite the crazy Schumann we got going on here. And we'll address this here later once we get to that part of the solar report tonight. So let's get started here. Let this loop play real quick here. Here we are, June 19th, 2023. Here's our loop playing here. Not much activity today. A little spits and sputters. Yesterday we had some activity though, and I missed last night's report. Happy Father's Day, belated Father's Day to all those fathers out there. Actually, I want to go back And go back to yesterday. Father's Day. June 18th here. June 18th, 2023. This is the loop from yesterday. And you can see we had an object up there. Another one down here. So this event right here, nice little object right there in the core. There's another one right there. So we'll go through this event really quick. So right about here is where our object starts to, become clear here. You can see that it's, brought out the CME here. Let me pull this down just a tad. And we'll start walking through this one. Now, you can see here's our object right here. Here's like the shock wave. It's magnetic field right here. Whoops. Let me go forward. There we go. We have another one, small one over on this side as it's progressing as well. And where's a good frame I wanted to stop at, right? Oops. Actually, that appeared to be two objects. But here's a frame right here I kind of wanted to stop at. Let me see if it's one more here. Yeah, right here, I guess. We'll just zoom in real quick on this. Scroll down, you can make out, here's our round object right here. You can see the magnetic field that it's caused. Let me back up a little bit. That's not a very good image. But you can see it was right there. Now, let me scroll backwards a little bit. So as we go backwards, you can see our object was right in here. Here's another one that was emerging as well. And what I was looking at is there appears to be one here on the leading edge. Yeah, it's making this divot here in the instrument. I believe we have our object right here. Let me see which one of these frames. Ooh. Probably that one right there. Okay, now you can make out our round object right in here. You can see the circular magnetic field. It appears it might have a couple other little ones trailing with it here. Let me go ahead and put this into motion, but slower motion. And we'll just watch this event unfold. There we go. Okay, so that was the 18th. That was on Father's Day. And then we didn't have much today on the 19th. So just kind of wanted to bring you these 2 days since I didn't bring a report last night. I'm a father as well, so I was very busy. Very, very busy. Father of many. So I was very busy. So that was yesterday. Let's just go real quick back to today's. Just a brief little repeat here. This loop, you can see there wasn't much activity here. Kind of quiet, little spits and sputters, but no big objects, no big CMEs or anything for the 19th today. So now let's go over to this instrument here. Oh, I also have a new instrument that we'll be checking in on every once in a while. I'm going to bring to you guys now too. Now that we're getting further into this, we're going to start needing another instrument here soon that some of you are aware of. I've met some of you there, and we'll just leave it as a surprise for the moment until we get there. Excuse me. Here we are at the GOES X-ray flux. Here's today right here. You can see it was kind of quiet. We had our couple little spikes right here, but no big objects or any big CMEs. Here was yesterday. Here was our event, the slow motion event. Had an object in it. Excuse me again. All right. So, other than this event and a couple of spits and sputters, it's been pretty quiet. It looks like there's been some activity already for the 20th here. Now that we're getting into the 20th. Let's see. Can we take a sneak peek at that? No, we can't. I go here. Let's see if we can take a quick sneak peek at the 20th. All right, here's the 20th. They only got a couple frames. Never mind. So back to this. You can see it was pretty quiet today. Small event yesterday, and then pretty quiet so far. 10% chance of a next flare now. We had an M2.5. Now, here's the new sunspot region to be a little concerned about. 33, 33. All threes. Intent. He's going beta gamma now, so we got to watch that one carefully. And where is it? It's this one right here. And it's in that one strike zone where we magnetically connect to the little part of the sun over on this side over here. So hopefully this doesn't go beta gamma delta as it goes into this other strike zone over here. Beautiful shot here of that 2.5 right here. Let's zoom out of this. There was nothing on the tracker earlier. Let me just take a peek here. We didn't even have anything, so we don't even need to open it. But what I want to do look at is our auroras right now. Okay, medium still, kind of, well, 10%. They're kind of light right now. But as long as there's no yellow or red, that's good. Don't need that. KP is doing fine right now. Okay, let's move on to the Schumann. All right, is this the one? I need 150, I believe. Nope. I guess it is 175. I'm trying to get this image as zoomed in as I can for you guys. Oh, boy, I should save this part for last because it's going to take forever to address. And I'm sure you all are wondering about this because you've seen other people doing reports on it. And a lot of people really don't understand this instrument, and they think it's this or that and that and this. And boy, how do I address this? Oh, you don't. Oh, he just said you don't. Okay, we're moving on. We'll come back to it later. We got other stuff to address right now. Wow, that was a strong you don't. Okay, now what we need to talk about here, we're over here at the our polar vortex, okay? This is the southern polar vortex now. All right, let me get it nice and pretty like for you. Before we start addressing this issue, boy, Lord, help me with this report. Okay, let's just start off where we usually do. Here we are at the polar vortex. Okay, this is our northern vortex here. Yeah, it's our northern vortex. And what I want you guys to notice now is how it's clearing out in the center. There's no longer crisscrossing going across the axis, the northern pole of the Earth. Everything in the upper atmosphere is all now rotating backwards with a pretty defined neutral zone. Okay? Okay, yeah. I've been showing you guys this for a while now. It's due to our core. Okay? I've described how that's working and everything. Now let's come down to this issue. Right about here's good, I guess. Okay, first off, when we're looking down at the bottom here, our vortex has a big bend in it, right? There's this sub-vortex over here pulling stuff off of it, right? The issue is, as this vortex here is pulling stuff from vortex up, it's taking this southern polar vortex and now addressing Australia, Sydney, and the west coast of Australia with really intense. Look at the coloration now. All right, so Australia's going into their winter, and with this out of control polar vortex now, with this like lifted indice type effect, just broadsiding it right here. Okay, there's also this polar or this vortex effect that is taking. See how this one's spitting it up? Now this one's taking it and aiming it right at the west coast of Australia. You see this now? Okay, something else that's happening too. As this vortex is rotating here, I want you to take a little peek. All right, as this vortex is rotating here, do you see how it's taking this air from here? It's going across the blue boundary now and mixing up into the uh, equatorial flow. Okay, now as I pull back just a little bit here, it's taking this cold air from the southern polar vortex, bringing it up, slamming it into Australia. Then it's coming off of Australia and mixing into the equatorial flow. I've never seen anything like this before. I mean, we've seen something similar, but this is getting a little dangerous now. Look at the whole southern half of Australia is now in that polar vortex. Okay, and they're going into their winter. The island like Tasmania and New Zealand, they're going to have gnarly winter. Now we have another vortex over on this side, okay, and it's taking this flow off, taking from the equatorial flow and now bringing it down into this. The craziest setup. Now, as I pull back a little bit and bring this around, how do we do it? More like, can you do it this way? No. Alright, well, we'll just look down on it from the top. Okay, you can see we have these vortexes on either side of the main vortex. You see how this is happening? Boom, boom. There's three vortexes. This little sub one here, a sub one here, and of course our main one. Oh, boy. Okay, Lord, give me strength for this one. Alright, I hate being the bearer of bad news, but something else that you guys aren't probably noticing, but do you see the island of here, let me just take the winds away for a second. Do you see the continent of Antarctica here? Do you notice where our center of rotation is? This is not the axis of the bottom. The axis is way up here. This vortex is being pulled down, and something is causing two other vortexes on the side. There's something underneath our planet that is causing some anomalies, let's just say. Let's see if I can pull it down this way. So you see this vortex over here on the side, and then directly opposite on the other side is the other one. Pull back a little bit, pull it up a little bit, and now you can see we have three vortexes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and this one has been pulled. The center of rotation was way up here. It's been pulled down, yet, see, the axis of this rotation has been pulled this way, yet it has broadened this way up into Australia. See how thick it is from my arrow down here to up here where my thing is? Do you see how thick this band is right through here? And the center of rotation used to be up here. The center of rotation's been pulled down and it's getting thicker and wider, broader, however you want to say it. But you see this whole band of purple right here? It just, just about to, it's already engulfed Tasmania. And now it's about to address the southern coast of Australia here. It's already engulfed most of New Zealand. Okay? Now, this is the polar vortex. We're going to drop down now a little bit to the upper jet. Do you see how corkscrew and backed up and just jumbled? See how it goes up and down? It's all backed up because air above is going against the jet stream down below, and the jet stream wants to go this way. The upper flow is fighting it, and it's causing this to buckle and jumble up and become all turbulent. Okay, that's why we're having wild weather, because our jet streams are so erratic and turbulent. Okay. Here's our jet stream for today over America, and it can change it at a heartbeat now. Any kind of passage of these objects just wreaks havoc on our vortex and our upper jet. So I take the winds away for a second here, just so you can see the outline of America. Okay. My camera fade or something. What's going on here? You guys seeing everything okay and hear me all right, I guess? All right. Well, I guess it's just an issue on my end. Okay. Anyways, you make out the shape of America. You can see our jet stream comes all the way down and goes up like this. So let's put it in the wind again. So it's coming out of Alaska, going back out into the Pacific, going down, hitting Northern California, going way back up into Canada, dripping way down from up here in Canada all the way down to the Gulf, back up. This split, this flow and the split actually join back together and make a hot cocktail coming off the coast of Maine right there. Crazy jet stream. And as I pull back, you can see that, look over here across the Pacific. It's just nuts. It comes way out of here, tangles, goes down, goes way down here. Look at this. It comes from up here all the way down. I've never seen anything like this. It's just nuts. Comes down and hits Hawaii. So the jet stream's coming out of Siberia and northern Russia across the coast of China, northern Japan, does this double back, comes back down into Hawaii, comes off of Hawaii into Mexico, mixes with this over the Rockies. It's just nuts. I mean, you have to see it to believe it. It's just crazy. And spring is almost over. We're going into summer now. This is no longer transition season. We should have an established, kind of stable jet stream. But due to our condition, that'll probably never happen again. Anyway, so let's just see what it's doing here. It's causing quite a little storm here off the coast of the Kuril Islands here. Let's see what's going here. Another decent storm wrapping up here. Oh, it's way up in Russia. Okay, let's come take a peek at us. Nothing too bad. The old typhoon in India. Look at that. It's still there. It's not as strong, but it's still rotating. That's crazy. That thing has been inland for a while. It was a really powerful incident. Whoa. That almost looks like a symbol. This triangle, like this, with this rotating eye in the center of it. Doesn't that look like something out of a symbology book or something? Trippy. Hey, it's the third eye. Maybe it's the red dot in the forehead or something. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on. Should we do the SO2? I just got to take a peek real quick. I haven't looked. Just making sure that it's still there and didn't disappear. Okay. America 50-50 here. East Coast still bleeding out. West Coast still, everything west of the Rockies. This line right here is basically all sulfur coming out of the ground. Not much over on this side. Our country is divided. See how blank it is here and how dark it is there. This defined line right down the middle of it. Great Continental Divide. Ooh. The Continental Divide, huh? Wow. It really fits its name now, doesn't it? Ooh, look at this. Do you guys see how this pressure kind of pushing north has created this little boundary area up here with these intense spots? This is where our fires are happening up here in Canada, and it seems to be that we have. It almost seems like this energy is pushing up this way. You see how it has these round, bulgy, arch-type features? The shape of these, it almost looks like a hand's kind of pushing up this way with pressure, and now we're having these darker spots up in Canada. Okay, you see this now as I pull back a little bit. Okay, Mexico still kind of doing its thing, bleeding out. Here's the coast of South America, darkening in again. This pressure's building. This gas is getting more intense. The darker the color means the more intense it is. As usual, I like to zoom into this spot to show you these are all independent sites. Okay, South America has quite an issue. Okay, and that goes all the way from Colombia up here, all the way down, almost to the bottom, but the darkest spots are like right in this zone. All right, we got this used to be blank over here, but it's filling in now on the eastern half of South America. So you see this area over here starting to darken in. Let's come over here to the bad boys who are paying dearly and will continue to the more they try to mess around. They just don't get it. Anyway, you can see China's got quite the problem there. That they're probably aware of it. And they're biding their time, probably hoping we'll fall apart before they do. So don't give up, you guys. Don't fall apart before they do, because look, they're on the verge of it right now. And whatever you see them pulling is out of desperation. Down here to the island of Java, our purple island. Merapi went off again. I had a video for that. And also, right here in the channel between the two islands here, this is where Krakatau is. It went off as well. So this pressure in this area, you can see how dark purple it is, right? And then, let me pull back a little bit. Then you can see how this whole island is just spewing SO2. The entire island of Java has been for a while too now. Okay. Um, you got plumes over here on either side of Saudi Arabia, India. Europe's a mess. Okay. For my European viewers, I think you can see the borders. Spain, here's Italy, here's the Black Sea. There's no other borders, but you could take a guess, rough estimate of where you're at and what the plumes in your area look like. Okay. So as we come out over here to the earthquake report, let's just take a quick peek at what's going on here. Not much. We got a 5.2 at the surface here in the Gulf of California. This one's been reported on for a while now. That's your 5.2 energy making it down this far now, you guys. We're lucky it skipped this region right here. Okay? It looks to have like jumped over this. I don't see any action in the Cocos plate that could have caused this. There's nothing much down below that could have driven it northward. Pressure coming up this way from the north or from the south, pushing north. 4.3 here to depth 141. That's 4.5 energy at the surface. Yeah, 5.2 Gulf California. We have here a 5.2 at the same depth. What's the timestamp on that? 20. Whoops, and this one just disappeared. Cool. Let's go back over to here. Anyways, 5.2 here at Tonga at a depth of 10. There's our deep quake. A 4.6 at a depth of 486. Timestamp. That is 1532. Then we have 5.2 just after it, right here. Another 5.2 just after it, right there. So our little quake right here set off. This little deep quake set off this 5.2 at the surface, 5.2, and another 5.2 right here. All three of these. Oh, crap. Look at this. Just popped up as we speak at 5.2. Let's see what it says. 5.5. Oh, wouldn't that have been crazy if it was a 5.2? So just now, as I'm reporting, we just had 5.5 here at Indonesia. Kalupatan Batu, Indonesia. So right here, that's right where we like to see our energy get dispersed, right? It's just right along this boundary line. Ooh, we even had a quake there prior, 4.7 earlier today. And now we just had 5.5 there at a depth of 22. So our quake earlier in the day, this 4.8 registered, well, let me see this again at the depth. Oh, 4.6. Yeah, so that's about 5 to 5.2 at the surface. Then we had, boom, 5.2, 5.2, 5.2. These three right here. Now we just had 5.5 right there. So the energy from this entered both systems and is now setting off 5.2 to 5.5. See what happened here. Yes, that's afterwards. A 4.6. That one was before. So of these two quakes, this one was already there earlier in the day. But that one is a result of the energy that went through. It's going through the system as we speak. It wouldn't surprise me. Boom, we saw one here. The next one may hit right here at the focal point or up here. 5.0 to 5.2 at the next weak spot. I would say. Well, since this seems to be a weak spot, we had two quakes here. This is not an aftershock of the other one. That seems to be a weak spot. Then if that's a weak spot, maybe this is one as well. Oh, sure it is. In a delta like this, You see this delta of sand right there? That's a hella weak spot right there. So 4.8, depth 10. That was before our deep quake. So this was before. This is where energy was being released before. And the other one here is where energy was being released before. So if we have energy being released here from before and here before, and we have new energy being released here, my next guess would be a bingo right there with the 5.0 to 5.2. Same, you know, 4.8 to 5.2 on the fulcrum point right around here, okay? Another one dumped off up here. These mountains are thicker. There's the plate's thicker right here, so we would downgrade it from 5.2 to say a 4.8, you know? Just because the density of the crust around this region, okay? But only in this region because of the Himalayas, all right? Let's come over here. A 4.2 for these turkeys. These turkeys are about to go in the oven. And we'll all be giving Thanksgiving. 4.1 at a depth of 135 in Romania. Something going on in Romania. What did you guys do? Oh, I know what you did. You can't hide from me. This is what I want to see. This one here in Colorado, a 4.3 in Colorado. This might be a looking for any kind of like topographical volcanic feature that would give us a good not reason or excuse, but a good cause probably. Now this just appears to be. Wait a second. This is on that fault again. Yeah, there's a fault that runs right down through here, right at the foothill of these mountains right here. See this little fault line that runs through there? We also, whoops, not too tight, right there. We also have these peaks right here. So we have this fault line that runs right through there. Can we see a little better, Brian? There we go. Pull it over. You can see how we have this fault line that runs right through here, down right at the foothill, right at the edge of these foothills, and the pressure, instead of being released here at this fault, has pushed in a little bit and has been releasing in this zone right here lately. So 4.3 and 3.8. That was whoa, whoa, whoa. Hmm? 713, 718. The small quake was before the big one. I would think that the big one would be the first one, and this would be an aftershock. But this may be a foreshock, 3.8, and it was 5 minutes before this bigger 4.3. Something going on in this region right here. There's going to be pressure releases here next to this bend in the fault right here, and this would be in the weak spot right kind of by this little fault here. So we'll continue to watch this area. It seems to be kind of in that range of 4.3 is, I think, the highest I've seen in this region. There might be another one that's a tad bit bigger. What's going on down here in Texas real quick? 2.8, nothing. All right, back out. I think we're done with the earthquake report. Dread. I don't want to have to do the other one, Lord. Oh, we don't? Oh, we can do the forecast. Yes, we can, can't we? Let's play this run real quick, and I'm gonna go say a quick prayer and figure out how to bring this to you guys. Sec. Help me so far. Just help me. Just speak for me. Don't tell me what to say. Just speak. Okay. Alrighty. I guess you want to know what. Alrighty. Let's just bang out this weather report real quick and get to it. Get to the dirty work. Alright, yeah, what's going on here? Is this too bright? Bright enough? Why does this look so dull on my screen? Alright. Anyway, so let's wait until this loop finishes playing. We'll pause it and go through this frame by frame, day by day. As soon as it's done here. Boy, what a mess it looks like. I'll be working quadruple time now. Current conditions right now. June 19th. As we start going forward, this will be the morning hours with pop-ups here. This whole again. That's the end of convection. Florida, this whole region right here, and back into this tail of this tightening low right here. Okay, that's the end of convection tomorrow. So you people down here, just keep your head on a swivel. Stay aware of your weather conditions. We have blossoms in the nighttime. These nocturnal thunderstorms are continuing. Nocturnal derechos, nocturnal tornadoes, nocturnal thunderstorms. You guys really, in this region, need to be on your toes, even in your sleep. Here we are. This is noontime, the 21st. This is the longest day of the year, tomorrow, or the 21st, okay? That's the end of convection on the 21st for Georgia, Florida, South Carolina. All right, you guys? Depending on what comes off the sun 3 days prior to this, which would be 18th, today, or yesterday. And we saw what came off the sun yesterday, so this will intensify, as well as this back up in here in the Rockies too. And we're just gonna have to keep our our heads on a swivel, keep your eyes peeled to the sky, listen to the weather reports, have a weather radio handy. If you get a break at work, go out, check the weather, just to make sure it's not getting worse. So now on June 21st, after the convection, it blossoms into nocturnal thunderstorms here in South Dakota, Nebraska, here into Oklahoma, Texas, Georgia, South Carolina, all the way up into this whole green blob will blossom. Okay, this will blossom. Okay, it's just this flow we're in. Okay, then it tries to dissipate into the morning hours, but it's still there in Nebraska. Thunderstorms up in here, still in Texas. That's noon hours it burns off. There's convection, the end of convection that day. Up here in northern Minnesota, Canadian border right there. Back up in here in Wyoming, Colorado, down into here into Texas, Louisiana, this whole region. Okay, just beware. We saw the Ohio event a couple of days ago when not predicted. Nobody saw that one coming, and Ohio got hit. All right. So any of these places where it looks like you might be in the clear, think again. Our weather's here is changing. They said, "Oh, you're all done with thunderstorms," and then we get these blossoms still in the afternoon. So there's lots of moisture in the air now. There's lots of particulates in the air now, and that's what water droplets need to adhere to in order to start condensation. So this is the midnight hours of June 22nd. Then it dissipates. This is the noontime, the end of convection, the 23rd. More up here in Montana, Wyoming, down again here in Louisiana, Georgia, up here into Virginia. Okay, so then blossoms more overnight into this mess here. And they just got hit here in South Dakota. Here it goes again. Into Montana, again down here in Louisiana, all along this Texas line, New Mexico area possibly. Okay, and this is overnight. Nocturnal thunderstorms, tornadoes, derechos. This looks like turn into one big derecho with this low and all these embedded thunderstorms. That's at 5 in the morning. That's morning hours still going. Noon hours still going up there, up here at the Canadian border. That's the end of convection right here. This is just the right where North Dakota, Minnesota, and the Canadian border all meet right there. Some spots. This tail coming down all the way down into Arkansas. Arkansas just got hit, so stay alert there. We got them down here in Florida, reaching up in here up to Maine. Okay, so it pushes through, still blossoms here up into Canada. That's the morning of the 25th. Noontime, the 25th. The end of convection, June 25th. Here again with another barrage in Arkansas. Just wiping out Clintonville. Then it blossoms even more into the midnight hours, reaching into Tennessee, Missouri, Arkansas. This is Missouri first. Then over the midnight hours, reaching down into Arkansas, still Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee. This whole low is wrapping up, bringing thunderstorms up into like Chicago area. So the overnight hours of June 25th here are going to be gnarly. Even into the morning hours is still there. This is the noon time, then the end of convection. So you see all these pop-ups right here along this band. Out in front of these can be little pop-ups as well. That's the end of convection. You see these little yellow pop-ups right in through here. Well, you can't see them too well, but there's a few in there. This could turn into a big event. So we got to pray hard. We have to be serious about what we're praying for. We can mitigate a lot of stuff. We can, and we can save lives, but you can't stop God. So here we are at the end of convection, June 27th. This whole big green band going down the East Coast with up here in it's up into Canada, but pop-ups in New York State, down into Virginia, all along the East Coast, back up in here too, Oregon, Idaho, Montana. Then overnight, it blossoms up here in Montana. That's 5 in the morning. All right, now this is noontime, June 28th, an actual clear day for most of the country right there, June 28th. That's the end of convection. Then some blossoms at nighttime here in Montana and North Dakota. So more nocturnal thunderstorms, possible tornadoes up here at night. In the morning, still in here, okay? Um, this is noontime. You see how this thing is just continue to push this way, and that's the end of convection. If this is if there's this much potential at noon, I guarantee you there's going to be more by the end of convection right here. This will probably all be yellow, okay? I don't see it dying off like that. Maybe it does. Let's pray it does. Okay, we have a low forming right here, and this is the boundary, the frontal boundary of it. Okay, and as it's pushing up this way, it's pushing all this cold air with it and causing more thunderstorms here. So let me back up the frame. This is the night of June 29th. That's the morning of the 30th. Now we're noon, the 30th, and the end of convection, June 30th, with our pop-ups here right off of Chicago, Michigan, Illinois area, okay? This low winding up out here, too. Let's into the nighttime of the 30th. Little pop-ups, but nothing much. It's the morning of the July 1st. Oh, excuse me. Noon July 1st, the end of convection July 1st. Kind of a clear day there. We go into the midnight hours with pop-ups again here, nocturnal thunderstorms here. Ohio, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Lake Erie. All right, so that's overnight. That's the morning. And noontime and the end of convection July 2nd with pop-ups down up here. This thing spinning around, putting moisture back into the land here. Just little tiny, maybe possible ones there, not much there. But then it blossoms at nighttime again with these nocturnal event here in Missouri. July 2nd. Then overnight into the 3rd. Noon of the 3rd, the end of convection, July 3rd, mainly here in the Ohio River Valley. Blossoms more at night, even comes back into here into Colorado with these nocturnal thunderstorms here in West Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky. Okay. That's July 3rd, 11 p.m. or the midnight hours. The morning hours of July 4th now. Okay, Independence Day. We got this is the morning with possible pop-ups here in Kansas, Tennessee. That's noon, July 4th, the midday. And here's the end of convection, July 4th, with our event possibly here in Kansas, the corner of Kansas, mainly Missouri, northern part of Arkansas, off the coast of Texas down here. So, 4th of July for these guys, and possibly down here, just be alert if you got plans on that day. Then that night, so fireworks or whatever, you're going to have some fireworks in this area, that's for sure. Nocturnal thunderstorms possible, derechos, tornadoes in this area for the night of July 4th going into the 5th. So here's the morning of the 5th. That's noontime the 5th. The end of convection July 5th. Right there is the last frame with pop-ups here off the coast of Louisiana, here in Virginia. Okay. All right, now let me just put this loop back into play. All right. Say one more prayer here while that plays out, and then we'll address this. Yeah, let me go. I'll be right back. All right, Lord. Okay. All right, so Okay, so let's get to the Schumann. I've been dreading this part. Let me just get it nice and close up for you guys, get you the best view possible. There's a lot going on in this, so we want you to be able to see as well as possible. If I get a little slack out of this cord, it's closer for you. There we go. Alright, first off, let's just back out a little bit. You can see our Schumann was going along just fine right here, and then we have this black line. Okay, usually this is missing data. Okay, and then after our missing data, we have this configuration. Alright, many times I've told you that the 7.83 hertz, this green line, this is what we're looking for, right? That 7.83 is the hum of the Earth that's generated by the core spinning inside of its shell. All right? Well, we had a core reversal. So the core starts spinning the opposite way, then the shell has to start spinning the opposite way. Eventually, the magma around the shell, the flow of that magma has been going a certain direction for thousands of years. Okay, it's created grooves on the underside of the crust. So if you can imagine grooves being dug into the underside of the crust from lava that's been rotating in the same direction for thousands of years, has all of a sudden started flowing the opposite way. Now, when that happens, because it's due to happen, this is precisely the kind of readings I would expect to see from such an event. But with that in mind, we also have to take into consideration now, this is a Russian site. Right now, the Russians are at war. This might be a jamming signal to jam radio frequencies, because something of this magnitude like this would do such an effect. It would disrupt internet. It would disrupt satellites. So there is plausible deniability that it could be radar jamming possible, okay? But this instrument records echoes. All right? All this thing does is record echoes that bounce off the ionosphere back down to the Earth. This 7.83 happens to be the echo of the hum of the Earth. This is echoes of something. All right? Now, it could be a glitch. All right? But glitches usually look like this, with no data. This is data. Look at it. It's data. It's a lot of it. That's tons of data. So I don't think it's a glitch. I really don't think it's a glitch. Now, I've looked at a couple other YouTubers who have access to different sites that show different things in the Schumann, and they were reporting that there was nothing too unusual during this time frame on other Schumann recording devices in other locations around the world. But at this location, this is what they picked up. Okay? I'm trying to be delicate, Lord, I'm trying. So, whatever caused this, something caused this. Something caused this. Okay? This is not a glitch. A glitch does not look like this. Now, something I need to point out to you guys, and I hope some of you guys get this. I want you to look real carefully at how these lines are going, and they're bending down and coming up, right? There is a fourth dimension to these lines. Let me get it just right there. Okay. It's kind of hard to describe, but I want you to look at it as if this is a piece of paper that has been pushed together from both sides, and a bump and a wrinkle has popped up the page. If you push the piece of paper from both sides, you're going to get like a wrinkle or a bubble that'll pop up, a ridge that'll pop up, right? Now, can you see how these lines are going down? Here's the ridge right here. These lines are going down the back side of the ridge. They're going into the page. They're going into the screen. Can you see that? How all of these match. They all match up. Okay, they're all parallel. They're all parallel, different frequencies. They're all parallel to each other, but that have a fourth dimension that goes deeper into the page, comes back up out, goes back down in. Now, if you look at this, it's a rippling effect. It's coming up. There's a ridge here, going back down to a valley. Coming up out of the valley, here's a ridge right here. It goes back down. Here's a flat area down that's lower, but then it comes back up to a ridge right here and goes back down. Can you see these ridges as if this were a piece of paper laying flat on the screen? If you took the screen and laid it flat on the ground and then took the piece of paper and pushed it like this from the edges, the paper's going to like rise up and have a ridge and bubbles and waves in it, okay? And that's a fourth dimension effect that's in this reading. Can you guys see that fourth dimension effect? How it's going down into the page at an angle. Like my pointer is coming over the camera. Oops, coming over the camera and down into the computer. Imagine if I could push through the glass and down into the back of the computer and then come back up through the glass and back down into the computer. Do you see how this is a three-dimensional dipping down, coming back up? Okay, there's something else going on here. And as of this moment right here, after this data, after this little breach in the data, and we start having this extravagant display of I have noticed people losing their minds. Okay, unable to drive, unable to focus, unable to hold a conversation, complete a sentence. So we know that the 7.83, let me pull back over. Let's see my pointer over here. This green line right here at the very left. We know that the 7.83 also controls our brain, right? And any disruption in this would be a disruption in your brain. We are having disruptions in brains all over the planet, even animals. Okay, I pray to God this is a glitch, but I know it's not. All right, this is what I would expect to see when we have magma that has been flowing in one direction for eons, having to change direction and go against the grain. You're going to see harmonics, and we're seeing what look to be harmonics, and the harmonics will change. They will dip down. It's the same band of harmonics, just at a higher note, and then a lower note, and then a higher note, and a lower note. But all these bands match perfectly. It's like they're interwoven. When we were talking earlier about these lines over here on the side, let me pull back just a tad bit because I need to reference the normal Schumann. Okay, so here's your 7.83 hertz. All right, I would love to tell you that our magnetic field is up and going, but as of the last little bit of data, we don't have a green line. So if you were outside in the last 2 days, um, maybe you're wondering why you're confused and having problems focusing, and it does all kinds of crazy stuff to the human mind and to the body. All right. Now, like I said, this is a Russian site. This could be a disruption caused by them. I don't think they would feed us, false data. This is just a scientific instrument. This has nothing to do with their politics or war or anything like that. This is just a satellite that happens to record echoes. All right, and now the satellite is picking up this display. This is similar to that cloud display I was talking about a couple weeks ago or whatever. So, as this progresses, I'm going to continue to watch it. It appears to have stopped reporting data now, and we're left with this big blank, this big black blank on the right. So, whatever happened here, now we have stopped receiving data. And the moment we start getting more, I'll be, doing a report on that. But for the meantime, we have issues, okay? And we have issues with our core, and our core going the wrong direction, our core spinning backwards, and causing our polar vortex to rotate backwards. See? Here's America. Weather travels west to east. Which way are these winds going? They're going east to west. See, this is the upper atmosphere, and then right below it, the jet stream is struggling to go west to east, while just above it, everything's going east to west. It's going east to west because that's the direction the pole, or the core, and the shell are spinning, and it appears that now this turbulence that we saw up here is over, that the turbulence down below is probably over, and now we are experiencing backwards flow in our magma. I pray to God I'm wrong on this one. I would love to be wrong on this one, but he made me do this. I pray to God I'm wrong on this, but you just take a look at it. Never have I ever seen readings like this on this instrument before. I'll tell you where I have seen readings similar to this on a site that you wouldn't expect to see something like this on. And it's a new site I'm going to take you guys to, and we're going to start reporting on. Help me, Lord, with this, please do. Live meteors, okay? And, right here on this little line right here, you see we had a one enter. So I'm going to come down here, I'm going to scroll down and find this event on the playback. It should be coming up here pretty soon. Now, let me push this back and describe this instrument to you. Okay, we might even add the sound just a little bit. It has kind of a mundane sound, but where's the... Okay. Alright, you hear these little pings and whistles and stuff? Let me just see if I can get that one back here. Alright, so here's our little line. This is the radio frequency that it's broadcasting. And as a meteor comes through, this little white dot, it'll make a small ping sound, and it'll give a spike here and record it down here. Alright, you heard the little ping? Here's the meteor that just came in. Okay, it's kind of boring. There's not much going on, but pretty soon when we're having meteor showers, this instrument's going to come in handy. And let's just see if it'll play that other spike that we had there. Trying to find it. Anyways, I have seen this instrument with all kinds of this effect on this instrument. Okay, and I'll even take you to my channel and show you a little bit of what came out of this instrument a couple of years ago. I was just hoping we get another good pass. Oh, here comes one. There's one coming up. This is the one I was trying to get. Okay, so we had a little meteor come in right there. You saw the little spike. You heard the ping note or whatever, right? I just want you to hear this note for a second when one comes in, because we're going to play something a little unexplainable. Alright, that one was at a higher note, but you can see the little tail on it and everything, right? And that's the meteor puncturing the atmosphere, okay? Alright, so right now, not much activity. Sometimes when we have these little meteor storms, alright, you heard that one and seen that, okay? And you see the little tiny dot right there, okay? So now we're going to mute this, and then, oh, that's the, we have another gem. I got another gem for you guys, dude. Stick around for this. It's going to blow your mind. All right, first of all, I want to show you some readings that have come off of that that site. No, I don't want the studio. I want my channel, turkey. Alright, so I'm trying to get to Meteors Live. You know what? Let's just search it. Okay, here's the same instrument after an ad. And I want you to see what happened on this day.
So I got you back over here at the Meteor's Live website, and we're seeing some more of this unusual activity going on here. And I want you to kind of watch as these shapes come through here, and put a little tone on for you so you can hear what's going on here. So we had something similar to this happen back in August. I think it was around the 8th, and then again on the 13th, when we start getting massive readings with all these spikes and all these bars lighting up here. And in a few here, you're gonna see this instrument really light up the full spectrum here. It'll continue going. So take note of this single tone that you hear, and then in a minute here you'll notice a change. All right, now in comes the second line over here on the left. It's usually just this one line right here on the right. Rarely do we have activity, two of them going at once. Hear the difference in the tone now?
That's one big meteor. All right, and that event lasted for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Now let me see. There's another one here. Um, hmm. Well, maybe we'll just leave it at that. Oh, sorry. Shouldn't have done that. Yeah, wonderful ads. Enough with your ads, you guys. YouTube, really, you guys. Make enough money as it is.
Folks, welcome back.
Anyways, I've seen it where this whole screen and every spike is going off with just all kinds of crazy activity.
While we got that going on, at the same time on a different instrument over here, this is Mimic, and look what it's doing. Watch this. Bam!
That was just data. That thing was just missing data. Alright, so be watching this Meteor's site now more with these inbound objects coming in and leaving debris. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of the fireball stuff that's been streaking through the sky. It's been captured by everybody. We're going to have an uptick in our Meteor, excuse me, in our Meteor activity. So this live Meteor stream is going to be a site that will be I'll be hanging out here watching this carefully, monitoring it. There's a chat room over here too. Not many people in it, but sometimes people show up. You can have a free chat room when it's empty, and 2 or 3 people could meet there, and you guys can chat while monitoring some inbound on the instrument in the background. I'll take this instrument and run it on a page in the background with just the sound really low with other stuff playing, and then whenever I hear a ping from whenever I hear a ping through, another song, say there's a song playing on another page or something, I'll hear one of these pings come through. I'll hear that ping come through, and just kind of let you know in the background, hey, we had a meteor come in or whatever. So another good site to visit, to monitor as well. Another instrument. This weird sound of space. You ever want to know what space sounds like? That's what space sounds like. Not the beeps, but the static in the background. All right, and there's a couple of good inbounds right there. And that's what normal activity should look like, okay? That's normal activity. When you start seeing 2 and 3 at a time and, multiple tones and stuff like that, then we're having a serious event, okay? And you can see ships will enter, UFOs will enter the atmosphere, and you can see the shape of them on this instrument. It actually paints the shape of the ship. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool instrument. Anyways, just had to bring this to you too because we'll be doing more reports from this. Especially, I'm expecting now if we have this kind of activity happening down in the core, it might draw more stuff towards us. Okay, so I pray to God this is a jamming device in Russia that's jamming, because they're at war right now. I pray to God that this is not the issue with the core already doing this, but what I fear the most is that this is the exactly what I would expect to see, the readings I would expect to see if our magma has now changed direction as well. Okay? And I believe these harmonics, we have harmonics when we have magma flowing underground, right? It causes harmonic earthquakes, harmonic vibrations in the ground. Well, if these are harmonics caused by magma, this would be the magma reversing direction. And let's see, January 11th was the day the core stopped and changed direction. It's 6 months. 6 months until the magma, went through its turbulent phase and is now starting to flow backwards. You got to picture this. If this magma has been flowing in a certain direction under the crust for thousands of years, it's created tubes and tunnels, lava tubes, grooves in the underside of the crust, all kind of flow asymmetries in the rock, in the crust, even up in the crust, the lava tubes and stuff. If all that lava had to reverse direction and start flowing a different direction and causing different harmonic values at different depths, this is precisely what you would see. Harmonic values at different depths and at different frequencies. Okay? The only other thing that would cause such a reading like this, other than the magma changing direction underneath the crust, and there's grooves in the shell as well. So when that shell that's been spinning inside that magma for thousands of years reverses, well, all those grooves in it with little bumps, and all those bumps are backwards now, and it's going to be a different flow than it was the other direction. It's just not going to automatically hit reverse and everything's just going to go this, opposite direction. No, it has to go back through lava tubes backwards, back through valleys and up into, imagine upside down valleys on the underside of the crust. If you're to look up, you would see an upside down valley going up into the underside of the crust. Well, the lava's got to flow along those valleys. Well, if the flows are all going one way for a long time and have to turn direction, it's going to cause all kinds of turbulence and chaos, especially in the magnetic field, especially with harmonics and resonance. And that's what this thing picks up. Holy shit. What are we looking at? I tell you what, man. Somebody better be playing a freaking joke or something because these readings are horrifying. If that's the case, and I pray to God I'm wrong, but knowing what I knowing what I know and having seen already, this is just about right on time. It's actually maybe just a tad bit early. I wouldn't expect this lava reversal, magma flow reversal for, well, 6 to 8 months, and it's been 6 months. So I was hoping we'd get 8 out of it instead of 6. And I pray to God I'm wrong. And, hopefully I am. I don't mind being wrong. I would love to be wrong about this one. And when this instrument corrects itself and starts going back to regular readings, I'll be thankful. All right? I don't think this is a psyop. Nobody even understands this instrument at all. They think it's for, oh, lightning's causing this. Bullshit. This is not caused by lightning. All right, these guys have no idea how geophysics works and how the core and the shell and the magma around it react, causing an electromagnetic discharge, which is our magnetic field that protects us from the sun. The core spinning inside the shell acts like a magnetic dynamo that produces a magnetic field that protects us from the sun and from space, from all sorts of exotic particles. Okay? Hopefully we can still get more data out of this site. It seems to have been frozen up. Let me just refresh real quick because it hasn't added any new data to that page. This has been the same reading for a while now. It's all black past this part right here. So if the data does start producing again and we're continuing to see this, I'll bring that to you. Regardless of what it is, I'm waiting to see some data. I want to know if we have a steady 7.8 hertz. Don't you? I want to know if it's fucking safe to go outside because our cowards in our government aren't going to tell you. You're going to have to come to an instrument like this or something, or get a device that reads the UV level or something before you go outside to know if the fucking magnetic field is up or not. These clowns don't know what the hell's going on, and when it goes down, oh, all of a sudden just yank every flight out of the air. That's reactionary. That's not. It's not prepared at all. And anyways, this is quite significant. I have noticed a matching change in behavior in people and in animals. I study human behavior, body language, animals' body language, posturing, all that stuff. And I see an effect already on people. Our 7.83 quiet, normal brain has just gotten frizzled. All right? Your brains are getting fried right now. Look at this. Regardless of what this is, it's still in the atmosphere. I want you to think about that. This is still in your atmosphere. The 7.83 affects your brain. What do you think this is doing to your brain? I have a feeling this might even be more than just our core. This might be divine, like divine presence now or something, causing the earth to vibrate harmonically in these beautiful geometric patterns. This is some of this is extremely advanced geometry, stuff that you can only do on a computer. Uh, unless the computer generated these readings or something like that. But this almost looks like intelligent design as opposed to just random magma flowing. But it's a very, very, very peculiar reading at a very peculiar time, especially with what's going on and everything. This fourth dimensional thing where it goes down into the page, how it kind of it's like a piece of paper that's wrinkled, that's bowing up and down like this. Imagine if it had the same pattern on it and it was, wrinkled and came up, and here's a ridge, where the paper made a little mountain range, and then these would be like the little hills going down. This would be a little valley here, and you can see these lines are all parallel and congruent with each other. They're just changing angles according to like their depth and their height. A very, very, very odd reading. All right. It's not. What does it mean? It means you're in trouble. That's not a good sign. Let's just say we want it to look like this. This is good news. This, not so good. We want this solid, nice, mellow green line right here with no other disruptions. This right here is quite disturbing. We've seen the white screeches, the white blast like looking type things, but nothing ever so exquisite, extraordinary. Let's just pull it forward one more time for you. I got you guys. And I want to just see nice and close here. Because it's pretty. There's, some look how intricate some of this stuff is. And I'll try to leave a link to this site in the description after I'm done with this, okay? So if you guys want to come over here and take a closer look at this, the Schumann site is kind of hard to find anymore. Everybody's taking it down because it's evidence of what's going on. And I don't think they want everybody having access to it. So what is causing it to do that besides God? It has a Schumann type frequency. Well, what's causing this is our objects. We have Nibiru and the Destroyer here, right outside the door, just waiting for the word. But look at, really intricate, really complex, these frequencies, and how they bend and change and come out of one dimension and go down into another and pop back up. See, something more is going on there. I would love to hear, it's a jamming device the Russians use for jamming, hypersonic missiles or, their radar systems or something like that. So this effect, if this is coming from the Earth, would have such an effect. It could be. I don't think CERN would leave, readings like this. This is CERN's been active for quite a long time, and we've never had it do anything quite like this. So something different is going on. All right, and I fear that it might be that our magma is now flowing backwards. All right, so there's your Schumann, and I'll try to leave the link for this up in the description here. Okay, so now on to our gem, shall we? Get this just right now. We don't need another But what we do need is this. Come on, play this, turkey. Alright. So security cameras footage. You see this little UFO up here, little white dot. There's a couple of them. Okay. Let's play that again. Oh wait, it's gonna play it again, I think already. Alright, yeah, so here we go again. And you see this little UFO appear here. And then we got a couple more. There's one there, another one off to the side, and one back here. Kind of looks like the TR3B type object. So I took this video and I put the tint to it. And you guys ready? Shall we? Watch this. You guys are gonna shit. This came out from behind the clouds over this town. That's almost too big in the frame. I need... Where's my mouse? Why is that? Stop working now, huh? Alright, let's see if we can get this. Alright. I need to play that again real quick here for you. Alright. There we go. And this is a band of clouds that was hanging over the city. You can see the city back here. I think this is yesterday in Los Cielos, California. Alright, there you go. They're here. That's a huge ship, too. This is a house. There's street lights and stuff down here. There's their yard. These are the clouds up in the sky back behind their house. And this thing is emerging from behind the clouds in the distance. But the clouds are back over the city behind them. And this huge, huge triangle emerges from behind those clouds. So keep your eyes to the skies, guys, because this thing's out there. Who are they? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Some of these vehicles are ours. Some belong to other races. There are races that live under the ground here, and there are races from across the universe that are showing up here. Every race from across the universe is showing up here for the big show, for the grand finale, if you know what I mean. You know, like the fireworks have a grand finale. Yeah, well, there's going to be a big grand finale, and every entity in the universe wants to be there for it. So they're all showing up. And lately I've seen a lot of entities. But lately I've seen some I've never seen before. So we are getting some strange looking creatures and strange looking ships. And you are also going to start seeing big triangle craft as well. Alright. And that's a pretty good size one right there. Alright, these are real. Despite what everybody thinks, or if you're not a UFO guy or whatever, well, I am. I have been ever since I was a kid. I had my first daytime sighting when I was 4 years old, and I can still remember it clear as a bell. Okay, UFOs are real. They've always been real. Uh, Media just plays it off. Now they're starting to admit to it. Well, they're going to have to because activity like this is going to start happening. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is because these ships are real. Okay. We have some that are similar. This one is a pretty good size one. Might be not ours, or it's somebody else's whom we copied and have our version of, we'll say, okay? Because that one's a pretty big one, and I don't think our black ops would be too happy if this thing was on public display. So, pretty sure it's not ours. Unless they got, permission to go ahead and fly it and admit to it and show it off. But you're going to start seeing more of this activity because we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And we're getting so close. We are so close.
Are cyber threats that can lurk undetected.
Yeah, I got a little trick for you, hacker. I got a little gift for you, bud. Guess what's going to happen to you for hacking? Yeah, oh, it's okay. We can just start it right here. Okay, pull up this image again. Going to all the time here. Until I get through your thick skulls how important this is, the sense of urgency, how close we are now to the end game. And you got Jesus appearing in the clouds on Easter of 2020. This is a 2,000-year-old prophecy that came true. It says, when I'm here, you'll see me coming in the clouds with power and great glory. Here I am. The crown signifies power and great glory. Now, I didn't even pick out anything to read, so we'll let this play for a second while I pick out something out of my notes here.
It happened over.
So you guys listen to that for a sec.
Welcome back. So I know there's a lot of activity going on the sun, but I really don't feel like reporting on that stuff right now. Actually, I want to go back and revisit an event that happened earlier this year, 2020, around Easter, when I captured what appears to be Jesus in the clouds here. So I need you to tilt your head to the right about 45 degrees, and here's an eye, his other eye, his nose, his mouth, his chin and beard, his hair flowing back like this, and you can make out a crown up here above his head. That crown is hovering over his head. There seems to be almost a little halo around his head too. Once you see that image, we can zoom in just a little bit tighter. There you go. Okay, and this event happened over a course of about an hour, and I got a lot of pictures of it. See, if we go up above here, you can see all these pictures up from way over here going across, or all of this event, and I'm going to show you more of what happened here. Okay, here I've taken about 7 or 8 of those pictures and put them together in a flip book, and you can see the different images, and that this event, is taking place here, because there's more that happens here. Okay, so starting here, we're going to go forward a little bit here through a lot of these images, all the way to right about here, where you can see that this face has changed now. Now we're seeing a more round, like lion type face with the nose right here Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with a crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures.
Okay.
And it's the transition between Jesus' face and the lion face. Now this happened in the clouds, and it was so big and in your face you couldn't see it. It wasn't until I took these images and zoomed out and compressed them. You didn't zoom in. They're too big in your face. You have to zoom out to see these.
So these images are actually 10 dimensions back from your perspective. If you could jump out of your skin and take 10 steps back from your body, you would see this stuff in the clouds. But from your perspective, you can't see them. They're too big and in your face. You have to zoom out. You have to like compress them. You have to have a perspective that's behind you like 10 yards. So it's really odd. It's not like they're super small and you got to zoom in to see them. No, they're so big and in your face that you have to, it's hard to see these. You have to take like 10 steps back. Imagine if I just took the camera. Let's see if I can do this. This is what the clouds look like to you, right? They just look like clouds. As you pull back, that's, there's like 2 steps back. There's 3 steps back, 4 steps back, 5 steps back, 6 steps. And the further back you go, the clearer it becomes. And then right about there, at that perspective is where you can see it pretty good. Okay. Alright, so I've been digging around for my notes and I got a good one for you. So let me take a sip here. I am the Lord of Peace, the only source of genuine peace. I give you this gift not only as something separate from myself, but as part of who I am. You cannot just grab this blessing on the run. You need to set aside time for focusing on me and enjoying my presence. You live in the midst of intense spiritual warfare, and my peace is an essential part of your armor. To stay on your feet during these battles, you must wear sturdy combat boots, the gospel of peace. This good news assures you that I love you and I am for you. Many of my followers forfeit peace because they think I am always scrutinizing them through critical eyes. On the contrary, I gaze at you through eyes of perfect love. Instead of punishing yourself when you've failed, remember that my death on the cross covers all your sins. I love you with unfailing love, simply because you're mine. Now rejoice in this gospel of peace. It is yours to enjoy at all times and in every way. Okay, so hopefully this image brings you peace and hope in the midst of all this chaos and confusion and disruption. And when these guys try to lie to you and tell you that your DNA was manipulated by aliens or whatever, you can tell them bullshit. I'm a divine entity. You are divine. Where do you think your consciousness came from? How come you don't reside in a dog or a deer, or your consciousness resides in a bird, or a rock or a tree? How come you're you walking around as a human, able to think, feel, and have emotions? That's not just a bunch of chemicals that happen to splash around inside of a vessel called your brain. No, consciousness is what much more than that. Where does love come from? Where do you think love comes from? Sure doesn't come from AI, that's for sure. All right. So when these guys try to bullshit you and tell you that you're part this alien and part monkey or whatever kind of bullshit they're gonna try to tell you, you just tell them, yeah, no, you're wrong. I'm divine, and get out of my way. Okay? Because you guys are divine. The people that are watching this, they're listening to my voice. You're the elite. You're the divine. It's not anybody else. It's you guys. Okay? You guys can see what I'm showing you. You guys understand what I'm telling you. You guys are brave enough to swallow the hard truth. That makes you the elite. The rest of these guys are a bunch of clowns and criminals and pedophiles. And I'm going to change that. Okay? Not to fear. Your big buddy is here. We're going to change this shit. Alright? That's it for now. I love you all. Miss you all. Hang in there. I have to get back to the battle, and this one's going to be brutal, so I have no idea when I'll be back to bring you more reports. So just hang tight and pray for me. The sooner I get these battles taken care of, the sooner I can get back to you guys. That's it for now. Love you all. Miss you all. See you soon. Bye. I'll be back.